Hi. Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday to you all. Happy Sunday. Oop, looks like I've got my other thing on. Have a couple computers. Anybody else have too much stuff going on electronically? How is everybody? Woo! I'm so rushed. I forgot to get my magical cloth. Hold on. Well, I woke up with a horrible thing in my eye, like a piece of dust or something. Hi, Kay. Dreadful. You ever get that where you just wake up? Guys like the blonde? Got some natural blonde coming in. Welcome to the summer, right? Not so natural blonde? Whatever it is. Desiree Robato, good to see you here. Welcome, welcome. Ooh, it looks like Claudia Various in Astoria, New York, is having an iced frappa. Well, if it's 74 degrees in New York, it sounds like the perfect drink. I guess we're finally head on into spring right now, aren't we, everybody? Boy, it's good to see everyone. My name is Whimsy. I'm your hostess with the mostest. I have some very, very freaky remote views. They are not political. If you don't want to hear them, you don't want to come to brunch today because they are weird. Who wants some weird and freaky remote views that have nothing to do with politics? I've got a few of them. Look, I'll tell you everything I see, everything I experience. I'm going to let aggravated progressive. Hi, you're having cold grits. What's this thing you've been doing with the cold grits? Does that actually taste good? I mean, I've never tried it. I would think that you'd want to like heat them up, or there's so many things you can make with grits, like polenta. It's nice. Hi, Diggy Pardo Lord. Hello, and thank you for being a member. Brenda C is in the house. Hi, good evening to you. And I'm so grateful you're here. You're having, wow, look at this. This is quite fancy. She's having roast lamb dinner, but she forgot the Yorkshire puddings. Okay. Kay Travel is here in the house, my close friend, and she and I are going to be doing the Cinco de Mayo party today. We're going to be promoting some of the local businesses. They have not been out in 3 years. We have not had a Cinco de Mayo, so we're going down to the waterfront and support some of the local businesses, maybe get a taco. Going to try that black and tempeh taco maybe, yeah? Maybe some mahi-mahi, who knows? Let's see who else is here. Debbie Brady, extraordinaire. She is a dreams coach, and she is actually going to be developing the merch for the channel. She is our merch person. So she would be the person to speak to about the merch that she is designing. She is our person. So you have requested the empath's prayer, so she will be doing that for you. Truth can be found in the pretend, which is our motto. So all of that neat stuff. If you've got any ideas about merch for the channel, she is your girl. Claudia Various, hello, beautiful girl. Good to see you. Annika Loeffling, good evening to you. I assume you're in Sweden. Is that correct, Annika? Hi, Equus3333. So I am here in beautiful downtown Portland, Oregon. I am Whimsy, your hostess with the mostest. This is our brunch get together. I have forgotten to put a charity up. My apologies. So you don't have to donate today if you don't want to. If you do, the donations will, I guess, just go to keep the channel up and running. I'm sorry, I forgot to put the charity up. For those people who have become members, much gratitude to you. Your membership and support of the channel means a lot. For starters, we just got some new lighting over here. I have added a second lighting. You helped pay for that. Our brand new microphone. You helped support us so that we could get the brand new microphone, $350. Thank you. So the money does go towards really good stuff to keep the channel up and running. I also wanted to give a shout out to all of the new members of the channel. Thank you, everybody who's become a member. Oops, let me see if I can find your names here while everybody's finding the channel. We're at 198 people. We'll chat a little bit more before we get started, just so that people have time to find it. And I have time to thank members who have joined. Hi, Brenda C. Oh, you're in London? How was the coronation? Did you have a nice time? Did you have a special coronation meal? I hear Prince Louis yawned and had to leave. He's only 5. He couldn't stay awake for it. So I want to give gratitude to the latest members who support this channel. Linda D, who has recently rejoined. Thank you so much. Ron over at Mid City Cats and Kitties Los Angeles. Be sure and check out his channel. He does animal rescue. Janine Seymour, thank you for your love and support. Jessica Bennett as well. Create Love, thank you. Wesley Sterrett, thank you so much. Christine Rogers, thank you. And Michelle Knight is back again, supporting us, and she always keeps me loaded up with great coffee. Annie1313, much gratitude. And Janice also joined this week, as did Queenie the Genie. So those are our weekly members. Cannot express enough my gratitude. Well, so who here saw the coronation? Let's just get straight to it. I think that Harry handled it great. We did some remotes where Harry and Mehgan actually had talked to Prince Charles. This is how it looked to me. And they didn't want to steal his thunder. They wanted to have it be his day and not have the family dynamics get in the way. And they were able to achieve that. They had a representative come in, like Mehgan didn't come, but Harry was there. He gave a nod, said hi to everybody. He was friendly. And then he got on a plane and went back to LA. And so I think he handled it really well. There was no drama. There was none of that crazy stuff, which is what I guess they promised him. He was able to walk in, avoid all of the crazy stuff, and leave, be there and leave. So I think they handled it really, really well. It was that fine line between supporting his father and not putting himself in harm's way or his family. I mean, I think they handled it very, very well. And I thought it was very touching when William came and kissed his father. And I thought that was kind of appropriate, that it should just be the next in line as opposed to a bunch of people. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sam Nomad, for the donation. It's much appreciated. Yeah, I think it was good. I'm very optimistic because last week we did tarot cards for King Charles, and they were some of the best. They were the best cards I've ever seen for anybody's future reading who's in any position of leadership or mentorship. I think he did very well for himself. I did not watch the whole coronation. I'm just not that. I wanted to see I'm attached to Harry, right? So he was okay. There were a couple people that snobbed him, like he said hi and they, played their game, But yeah, I think he did very well for himself. Okay, so Let's talk about some remote views that are a little bit unusual. Is there any announcements or anything that any of you need to make? What are you eating? What are you drinking? Did anyone want to share with our? This is a brunch. A lot of people have gotten confused about the concept. What does that have to do with being a psychic reader? This is a get together with friends, people who like this channel, and it's very informal. And we all have brunch together, and that's all this is. We just have brunch. Everybody, this is a table is extended to the four corners of the earth, and we just share what we're having for brunch. Some people in Europe, it's later, they're having dinner, they're having cocktails. It's cool. But the point is that we're just regular people that get together that love the tarot. We're into psychic stuff. We think it's fun, and we have brunch together, and we talk politics, spirituality, and we do some blitzes, and we raise money either for this charity or today, I guess, for the channel. But so that's what's happening, and you're welcome to join us. All we ask is if you want to participate, you have to subscribe. So in terms of remote views, let's have a conversation because they're a little bit strange today. Hi, Kathy Reagan. Good to see you. The Page of Swords came in that said there would be some protest and some arrest. They arrested, what, 50 people got arrested? Oh, Ron DeSantis. Well, nothing's happening. He's actually in legal trouble, so who cares? Nothing's going to come of his. I don't think that they have anybody strong on the Republican side. Yes, this is from Debbie. Isn't this sweet? So legal trouble, well, I haven't gone too far into DeSantis, but based on the remotes, he's under some kind of, all of Florida is a swamp. There's so much corruption. There's so many criminal charges. There's so many people being bribed, drugs, prostitution, human trafficking, you name it. Stealing elections, preventing people from voting, voter intimidation. There's so much crime going on in Florida. I think that they keep the DOJ busy. You know, they really keep the GOP busy. Okay, so the first remote we're going to talk about that is a little bit strange has to do with a spiritual concept that I thought you guys would all really enjoy talking about. Boa's having oatmeal pancakes and peaches. Yum, yum. That sounds really wonderful. Joanna Carson is having a Mediterranean sampler. See, I'm focused on that. I got to focus on the remote. Okay, so we're going to talk today about fairy godmothers. And this is one of Mila's favorite topics because I'm Mila's fairy godmother. Yes, she just kissed my head. Thank you. Am I your fairy godmother, Mila? You got a little bit too much hair in your mouth when you gave me that kiss. Did you want to look outside at your birdie? Who has not heard of the term fairy godmothers? Fairy godmothers. It's fairy godfathers, but today we're going to talk a little bit about the concept of what is a fairy godmother. So, a fairy godmother is an energy of somebody who exists in the world in order to help you in your mission in life. So, this is the first thing that Spirit wanted to talk to us about was your mission in life. And it's this understanding that we all have a mission in life. And so I was abiding in the meditation. I was in step 3 of HCRV, and I was just abiding. And that's where you allow spirit to work with you in the 3rd stage of HCRV. And as I was meditating, I began to meditate on the idea in children's literature of fairy godmothers and their symbolism throughout history, and is it a real concept, and how do we connect with our fairy godmothers? And the message I got from spirit is that they are very much real and they exist both in the physical world, but in the spiritual world as well. And that fairy godmothers can be actual living mentors. And in addition to being actual physical mentors, they can be people who have passed on, who may have lived previously, or they may be beings who have never incarnated into this world. So you have three categories of fairy godmothers. Sounds really kind of complicated, doesn't it? So the first fairy godmothers they talked about were the ones that have existed in this world and done work that inspires you. So, say, for example, the purpose of a fairy godmother is to help you achieve, yes, fairy godmothers are real. It is a real mystical concept, and it's a really important mystical concept that spirit is wanting us to really understand, and they want to talk, have a serious conversation with us about it today. So that's kind of an unusual idea, but in order to buy into this concept, you have to buy into the first concepts that spirit is talking to us about, and that is the understanding that you are here to do work in the world, that your birth is not an accident, that you are not here simply because somebody, whoops, the condom broke or whatever, that you are here to do work in the world. That's the first concept. So the second concept is that not only are you here to do work in the world, but that you have a mission in life and that you would not be here if your mission in life wasn't important. Isn't that interesting? So, by virtue of being incarnated in this world, from spirit's perspective, you are here for a mission and your mission is important. And spirit views your work as unbelievably important. And the function of the energy of a fairy godmother is to help you in this important mission on this planet. So, in the case of the story of Cinderella, it was a spiritual story. Her mission in life was that she was destined to meet her soulmate, get married. That's how the story goes. She had a destiny. She was destined to something. And so, the purpose in the story of Cinderella, of the fairy godmother, is to aid and assist her in finding her direction and fulfilling her destiny. Does that make sense? So the next question to you is, do you know what your mission in life is? So it's not just one mission, it's many missions. Like I told you, this was going to be a wild remote view today. So you have many missions. For example, part of your mission in life is to be maybe a good parent. Many of you chose to be parents in this lifetime, and it was to have those children, maybe to have that karmic relationship with those individuals, to marry that particular person, to do the type of work that you do in the world. In Hebrew, it's called tikkun olam, or the fixing of the world. We are trying to fix the world. Now, from a spiritual and a mystical perspective, when you incarnate on the planet Earth, you are under the protection of the spirit of this earth. It's a conscious being, and this is that conscious being's body. And you are an organism in and a part of this body. And that being is Gaia. So, this overriding spirit of this earth is Gaia. It is a conscious being. It thinks, it feels, it loves, and you are an integral part of it. So, you are Gaia conscious of yourself. You are a part of her and she is a part of you. And so you're aligned with her mission. So when we go to the purest essence of what is the mission of Gaia, it is to extend her love into the infinite. So the function of the being that is the earth Gaia is that she desires to spread her love to the universe, to the infinite, that it should go infinitely, grow flowers endlessly into the universe. A beautiful bouquet. Remember Princess Diana's bouquet, how it trailed down beautifully? This is what Gaia wants. She wants to trail her love into infinity. She wants people making love, making babies, growing flowers, healing her and extending that beautiful love into the infinite. And so these forces, these guardian angels and these good angels and these fairy godmothers are there to assist you when you land on this planet to do your mission, to be part of Gaia, extending love into the infinite universe. So people go out into space like Captain Kirk, right? The actor, he said, "It's death out there. Here is life. I want to come back to Earth." I was terrified. Well, Gaia wants it to be less death, right? She wants to keep extending. That's why we want to go and visit all these other planets, because we are Gaia conscious of herself. And that's precisely what she wants to do. She wants to go all over the place planting flowers, right? So the first type of fairy godmother is your mentors that inspire you in your work. They are people that inspire you. So on this channel, like this channel was inspired by my fairy godmothers, who are people whose work I admire, who help me be better at my job, right? So in entertainment, if I'm just looking at fairy godmothers in the entertainment world, right? Who's the first person I think about? You guys will get a kick out of this. Carol Burnett. When I was meditating. Did I spell her name right? When I was meditating, like, well, who are some of the people that inspire me? You know, comedy, acting, entertaining, entertaining people on TV, getting people to laugh, lifting people up, being positive, trying to, yeah, get people to smile, right? I think that that person for me growing up was Carol Burnett. And so I spent a lot of time when I was very young. I was taking acting classes since I was a little kid in high school, right? In grade school, in little plays and stuff, right? So for me, from say age, I don't know, very young, I was watching her comedy style. I love the way that she impersonates the Queen of England, right? So you'll see me be campy on the show, doing the L. That's just me doing Carol Burnett. So I think everybody who does entertainment, we have a fairy godmother, somebody who we watch. My nephew is inspired by Jim Carrey. Everything is Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. That's his fairy godfather. He's a bit of a comedian and he writes. But for him, it was Jim Carrey. For me, it's Carol Burnett. The way she delivers a line, the way her characters take themselves so seriously. So she was on my list as the first person that I said, "Oh, my fairy godmother is Carol Burnett." That would be an example of, you know, somebody who's famous or does some kind of work that you admire, who you emulate or inspires you in your work, right? Because she sings, she dances, she entertains. So basically, the point of the meditation was to think about number one, what is your purpose in life? What is your mission in life? And whose energy do you draw on as an inspiration, as to lift you up and help you be directed in your mission in life? And so I thought that was funny. Um, I thought about all of them. Carol Burnett was one. The other fairy godmother for the channel is Julie Andrews. These are people that I've met too, just working in shops in LA. They've come in and bought stuff, and I've sold them, a T-shirt or whatever. But I've met Julie Andrews. She's extremely friendly, generous. She gives, Christmas baskets to everybody, and that's one of the reasons why I think I even told her she was. I think I told her that I was doing stuff, and she was inspiring me. But very, very respectful to everyone. Very, very much a professional. So for me, yeah, those were my two fairy godmothers, and then I thought about others as well that had passed over, because a fairy godmother can be also a person who has passed over. So I thought about Gilda Radner. She was another big influence. Yeah, Tracy Ullman. She's good. Robin Williams. And so I just wanted to share that concept with you all so that you could meditate on it and use that as a spiritual opportunity to help yourself in your mission as you explore your own missions in life. So that's the first remote view. Remote views today have nothing to do with politics. It's kind of fun to take a break. Marlo Thomas. All right, the second remote view I thought was really, really interesting. Patti Smith, oh my God. Yeah. Gracie Allen, yeah. Audrey Hepburn. Audrey Hepburn, she actually, I think Audrey Hepburn in the spirit world, she works with a lot of people because was a humanitarian, but also her influence in fashion. So her energy is still there. This is what spirit is trying to. Lucille Ball is another one. But the point that spirit was trying to make is that they had their time in the world, or still have their time in the world, and they are here to assist you in your mission, and that's really the fundamental meaning of these of the fairy godmother. All right, the second thing I meditated on last night, a couple nights ago, had to do with this controversy that came up regarding the painting of by Vincent Van Gogh. This was one of the things I was meditating on. Did I spell his name right? Please correct me if I didn't. I believe it was at the Tate Museum last year that I believe it was the sunflower painting at the Tate Museum. Some activist went in, they took a can of tomato soup, they opened it up, and they threw it on the painting and said that some people didn't even have enough money to heat a can of soup, and that was more important than the painting. Does anybody remember this remote? I mean, does anybody remember this controversy? Some of the painting was mostly not damaged, but there's a little bit of acid from the tomato on the side. So I decided, I thought, I wonder what Vincent Van Gogh would think about all of this. And and it was just a passing thought. I was in my remote state and I'm just thinking about the day and I'm just thinking about life. And then I started to think about that controversy. You guys are going to get a kick out of this. And so I'm meditating. And then as I go into the meditation, because we go into it from a state of love, and then you see if you get a response. And so I was in a state of love. I was in step 3. And then I start hearing this personality, which I guess is Van Gogh, starts to come in, as a remote viewer. So that, and the thought I had is, wow, I wonder what Vincent Van Gogh would think about the fact that somebody threw tomato soup at his painting. And I heard Vincent Van Gogh say, it's an improvement. You mean they improved the painting? And that was like, whoa. It was very funny. I was like, oh my God, that's a funny thing to say. And then so I thought that was funny, like that he so disliked his own paintings. This is what Vincent Van Gogh was saying, that he so dislikes his own work, that the fact that somebody would throw a can of tomato soup at the painting, from Van Gogh's perspective, that could only improve the piece. So I thought that was very, very funny. And I asked Van Gogh if he could please elaborate, and he said, my work is crap. Why are you people taking this stuff so seriously? I'm not a painter. I'm not really a painter. You guys know that, right? None of this is real. I can't believe you guys would ever spend that kind of money on my paintings. And in the meditation, when I'd mentioned that they had thrown the can of tomatoes, he said, soup. He said, yes, another critic. Yes, that's pretty much what the critics think of my work. Yes, they threw the tomatoes. It's very appropriate considering what the critics. Nobody took me seriously. Don't you people understand that? I was an amateur. It wasn't serious. Nobody took my work. I can't believe you people think that this painting is worth this kind of money. And then in the remote, we talked about the controversy of people starving. He said, well, by all means, if I thought anybody was going to pay for my paintings, I certainly would want you to use the money to feed people who are starving. It's just a painting. And he said, the truth of the matter is, you want to know the truth, people? My brother stored those paintings up in a loft where he had stored food for the animals. It was up in the loft. That's where he kept my paintings. Up with the hay and the wind and the elements. That's where we would put them. You guys are taking it really way too seriously. So then he showed me where they stored the paintings. It was up where you store the hay. He had no confidence in himself. He had no confidence in himself. He had no confidence in himself as an artist. He didn't feel he was a real artist. He didn't feel that he was a real professional. And I think he had less of a problem with the activist than he did with the people that were saying his painting was worth $1 million. And I just thought I wanted to share that, get people's opinions. You probably know more about Vincent Van Gogh than I do, but that was my experience of Van Gogh uh, as a remote viewer. But I loved his attitude, and I found myself laughing. And I don't think that people really touched on his sense of humor, that this was someone that had an unbelievable sense of humor, and did not seem to take his art seriously at all. What do y'all think about that remote? I thought that was the funniest thing. You mean they improved the painting? And then the thing about Theo is like, do you have any idea where we stored my stuff? Up in the loft with the hay and the mice. You guys know that? It's all marketing. This is it's amazing what a couple hundred years of marketing will do for a painting. That's Vincent Van Gogh. It's just marketing. That's the real story of the painting. We had them all stacked up in the loft with the hay. There were mice. Some of them were destroyed. There was no window. It just rained right on it. There were mice. That's so my paintings were destroyed because it wasn't important. That's what he said. Anybody ever seen the house? If you go to the loft, he said that's where the paintings were kept. There you go. Very humble. Yeah, Cash Peters should do one on Van Gogh. All right, I can start to feel the energy of people wanting to get a collective reading. So we're going to go ahead and close with the remote views. No politics today. We just did something different today. To think about who are your guardian angels, your good angels, who are your fairy godmothers, and also we'll do fairy godfathers next week because they have an interesting function also. Yeah, you're getting tired, aren't you? It's really funny to see my cat get tired because she starts to get like this, like she doesn't really totally know what she's doing. She just kind of stands. Hey, Mila. Oh, there she goes. She has a bed down there. She sees that soft bed just waiting for her. Oh, this feels so good. Okay, so we're going to do the collective reading, the empath's prayer, and then we'll do blitzes after that. Sound good? Yeah, you pick them. You are drawn to their work. You are drawn to, like I was drawn to Carol Burnett. I I mean, I study her comedy style. Um, by studying her, it helps me in my work. It helps me keep you guys entertained, you know? I incorporate it into my humor, into the show. She makes me better at my job, like by being my fairy godmother. You know, like I watch her stuff. She always takes herself so seriously. I just find it very funny. Um, and I love the name of the men she's always in love with. It's always like old British names, like oh Reginald, oh Reginald. She always takes herself so seriously. I just find it very, very funny. Yeah, they're best friends, and they're both really nice people. Okay. All right. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community. Oops. Try again. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together as a community, we say, Amen. And again, thank you to the person who told me that it was my incense that was setting me off with the coughing. So, yeah, haven't burnt incense in a week, and my cough kind of went away after that. It's kind of a shame. I really like incense, but I guess it doesn't like me. All right. Community reading. Are you all thinking about who your inspirations are now? Who inspires you in your work as writers, artists, musicians, intellectuals, academics, teachers? Maya Angelou, that's my sister's guardian angel. Fairy Godmother, yeah. A lot of writers. Maya Angelou, Toni Morrison. Yeah, depends on, I guess, what you're trying to achieve. Yeah, the cough is completely gone once I stop burning incense. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I have the smokeless, but I don't like the smell as much. It's not as nice. I like the smell of cedar wood, but oh my God, it just irritates me too much. Yeah, I can't burn the essential oils. It just got me too sick. But also pollen, it's worse in the springtime. I can tolerate it a little in the winter, but in springtime when I've got my cat is shedding and everything else, it's just too much. Where you are at right now, we're going to start a collective reading. This is the collective soul of the community. Take what you feel resonates with you, and if it doesn't resonate with you, it may resonate with somebody else. What I can say is that this is a time in the planet's history, energetically, of new beginnings. We've talked about what it feels like for me as a remote viewer when I go into, say, Ukraine and I feel the Russians pulling out, right? We've talked about that. We've talked about the fact that the federal government is now taking charge of the situation, right? We have the people going to prison for January 6th. Fox News, the feds are starting to shut down. I don't know if they'll survive or how they'll survive, but we have this kind of things being righted right now. And so the energy is actually really positive. It's a time where we feel like things are starting to be balanced again. And also, it's a time of new beginnings that are positive. We went through a period of tremendous destruction, but now we're entering into a time of construction, right? So the base of the matter for you is the Four of Wands, and that is it's a new season. It's the time of spring. So when we think about wands as tarot readers, they are growth symbols. In Chinese medicine, it's the wood element, and the wood element is associated also with fire because wood burns. So fire, Aries, Leo, Sag, the fire element is often associated with the wood element. New beginnings, springtime. Now, spring in Chinese medicine is also associated with the liver, right? Anger, green, the color green. The fourth month is April, which is the time of spring. So Four of Wands is often a time when we're just starting the spring season. You can see the beautiful garland, and it's a new beginning approaching the bride and groom, the beginnings of what will become their home. They just have four walls. So it's the beginning of positive things to come for you. But you must be patient. Your karma card is that you must be patient and you must be balanced in all things, no extremism for you. If you wish to be happy, your guides are telling you you must avoid any extremism. Have fun with this process. It is very important from your spirit guide's perspective that you hear this message. You're here to be happy. You're here to being unhappy is not helping this planet at all. You're not helping by being unhappy. You are not helping the greater organism Gaia by being unhappy. As a part of Gaia, you are morally obligated to create heaven on earth for yourself. By saying no to yourself, you have not advanced the cause. You are the impediment. Stop being the impediment to your own happiness. That's an interesting thing to think about. You are morally obliged to create heaven on earth for yourself. And if you are not creating heaven on earth for yourself right now, you're doing it wrong. Get busy. Now, the interesting thing is your karma card is temperance, moderation. Moderation. It's interesting because a lot of us are taught false teachings. We're taught that we have to suffer to make the world a better place, that there's something moral about suffering. Something that the Dalai Lama and other religious leaders have talked about is the moral responsibility to be happy because it alleviates the suffering of others. Where you are at right now is seeking to help those who cannot help themselves. Six of Pentacles is a desire where you're at right now to serve, a desire to serve others, a desire for justice. Take care of your family inheritance and make sure that you're okay financially. Some of you are dealing with issues of family dynamics and also a desire to deal fairly with family members, but you also have to take care of yourself in the process. This is issues of family dynamics and inheritance. I'm sorry, no, we're not doing personal readings. I do hope you find your tortoise, though. It sounds terrible. You lost your tortoise? Avoid negative people and people that drag you down. You're not serving yourself. If somebody is beating you up or doesn't believe in your dream and your goals, you probably should not hang around them. Anybody who is down on your parade, stay away from them. Two of Swords is coming into the fourth house, which is advising many of you to be consciously aware of anybody that is not supporting you. Have fun. Learn to laugh. The Knight of Cups sits in your third house. He frolics. He's tipping at windmills. Have some fun here. A little bit of romance is not a bad idea for you. Sunny days lay ahead. Many of you are entering into a time that's very optimistic. This is really encouraging you to have a sense of humor in your life. Don't be afraid to get a little uncomfortable. The world is not as scary as you think it is. Don't let fear hold you back from what you want to do in life, particularly when it comes to issues of travel and meeting new people. Many of you will be traveling quite a bit in the coming years. Some of you are going to be moving in the near future. Some of you are on the verge of being famous. Many will succeed as writers. Seeing famous writers. A lot of you are going to be moving outside the US. Look at this. Much academia as well for many of you. The final outcome for many of you is while your work remains important, it's also important for you to have fun and not take yourself so seriously. Enjoy the ride. Your final outcome is the High Priestess. As long as you do the work, take it one step at a time, and enjoy the process, you will do very well for yourself. Some of you are going to publish books and do very well. I got to work on my own book. People are like, when are you going to do the required reading book? I got to do my HCRV manual. Right now, I just have notes for the students. Last class is Wednesday, by the way, 6 p.m. Did you see that? The world card in the 7th house. Y'all are leaving. Well, they say Mexico, you can get a condo for nothing in Puerto Escondido. A lot of people are doing that. And then they Airbnb the guest house and then it pays for themselves. Yeah. There's a lot of ways to do it. If it's not a border town, Mexico is unbelievably safe. We got tours. We saw all of Mexico City. The crime rate is, for the population, 24 million people. If you include the outskirts, if you look at the number of people, the crime rate is actually unbelievably low. They say it's lower than New York City, if you look at population studies. What the problem is that the border towns with the US is where like the gangs and stuff are. So people think that that's all of Mexico. But if that's, that's like saying all of America's Baja California. It's not really like that. It's very low crime rate in Puerto Escondido and these small little towns, and there's no guns, and kids are out playing ball at 2 a.m. in the middle of the street. And I can afford to retire there. So, there's a lot that's attractive about retiring in Mexico. I get to keep my phone, my phone number. I have a LA phone number. I get to keep Verizon because Verizon's like, great, moving to Mexico. We're in Mexico. It's like nothing changes. It's the easiest immigration for Americans, I think. Also, your bills go down 50%, and you don't even have to change your phone number. And now there's plenty of U.S. Banks that are loaning Americans money to buy houses in Mexico because they know we can't afford to retire here. It's crazy. Why buy a condo here for $400K with $600 a month HOA when I can buy the same condo for $125 in Puerto Escondido and an HOA of $50 a month, and my health insurance is $100 a month? It's not a livable country anymore. Isn't that sad? So it doesn't surprise me, economic colonialism. I loved Mexico City. I never felt afraid. I certainly didn't feel afraid in Puerto Escondido. They're like, here? It's 2 a.m. and people are like, there are kids playing ball at 2 a.m. It's like no crime. $400,000 will get you nothing in California. And it's what, $70 to fly to Mexico City from Puerto Escondido? A hop, skip, and a jump. It's less than an hour flight. Yeah, I speak a little Spanish. Yeah, so it doesn't surprise me that people are getting those types of cards. But y'all are writers and artists and creative types. Those were creative cards that you all were getting. What are you guys writing, the great novel or something? A lot of teachers too, High Priestess. Whenever I get the order. I just heard somebody in my ear say, "Are we going to blitz away or not?" I heard you. It's up to you guys. I get the order and then I get the question. There we go. Blitz away. All right. So if you guys give a red question mark, I can do the blitzes easier. I can see your guys' questions. Yes, poquito. All right, let's see about questions here. So Geocosmic Valentine had a question about the coronation. We can go ahead and look up. We'll start light with the coronation. She wanted to know how Camilla feels about achieving the title of queen and being crowned in the moment yesterday. Let's take a look. How's Camilla feeling? She's been demonized quite a bit. Well, here's the problem when I go into her energy is this is somebody who have you ever been so in love you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that that person was your soulmate and you didn't even think wouldn't even enter your mind that that wasn't true. That's kind of how she feels about Charles. It's the person you try to get over and you never get over them. And something like 35% of people who break up, whether it's a year or 10 years later, they get back together again. The one that gets away and then you get back. And so there is an element of that with this energy. This is somebody who really tried to get over this guy and just knew he was the one. Even when everybody told her she was crazy, she knew. She's always known that this was the person that she belonged with. It's like an addiction. She can't quit him. He's the one. She lives for him. It's like in the private tapes they've had tapes of them talking, and one of the things she said to Charles was, "I've done nothing with my life other than love you. That's my only purpose to exist, is that she's there to love him and she exists for him." I don't think people have not been very kind to her, but if you put yourself in her shoes, she is gone on this guy. This is her purpose in life, is to take care of this guy. Her karma card, the devil. This is her destiny. If people are going to take her out and harass her, beat her up, doesn't matter to her because this is her destiny. She is chained to this man. Whether people believe it or not, if she's been misunderstood, if she didn't handle it the way she was supposed to, if the social subtleties were lost on her, she apologizes. But contrary to what people may believe about her, she really is here to serve. She likes to serve. She likes to take care of her husband and she likes to serve. And she's here to serve. But she's chained to this man. She doesn't feel she has a choice. It's not like she could have left from her perspective because, yeah, devil, she can't leave. Like Diane going to her and saying, "Leave my husband alone." When you're in this state, it's not possible because she really feels that she is one with this person. You can see you can't separate them. It's her purpose, prayerful. This woman exists for this man. Nothing else is important to her. He rocks her world. She was never the same after that. The whole "he completes me" thing. I mean, this guy completely did it for her. Rocked her world, the tower. I mean, she gets her wish. It was what she wanted. But it's about him. She wants him. What she sits in the partnership. It was hard for Diana because she knew this was her function. She would have been happy just as a lover and not as the queen. It wasn't about that. It really wasn't. That's what she wants people to understand. He was her. He was her male half. She couldn't physically extract herself. She hoped things will get better in the future. She feels that this will hopefully make things better in the future for the royal family. She's crying about Harry. She's crying about it. Whatever happened, he yelled at her, he was angry at her, he wants nothing to do with her. Harry has terminated his relationship with her, and she burst into tears about it. She's telling us. She just really feels she screwed it up and she doesn't know how to fix it. Harry is showing her the Knight of Pentacles. I want nothing to do with you, lady. Her hopes and fears. She's just there for her husband, the king. That's it. She lives for the king. It's all about the king. And the final outcome for her, it will be a good reign. She just wants to help. 6 of Wands. She has Harry yelling at her, then her husband in the bedroom was yelling at her. She burst into tears because she has to fix this. She doesn't know how to fix it because he doesn't want to talk. Look at this. Look at Harry with her. He hated her from the beginning. There was no way she could have made it right. Walking away. It's over. Hanging it up. She can't fix it. Closed heart. There's nothing that this woman can do to make it right. She could never have made it right from Harry's perspective. He was never going to be open to her. I think that I would like to focus on the things that are of meaning to me. And there are projects and charities that I do care about that I will focus on. And but I can't focus on trying to make things better with Harry because he's let it be known that there's no relationship and there never will be one. That's how I feel. 6 of Wands with an Ace of Cups, victorious in the coming years, and Ace of Cups. She's going to be excited about her own projects. Yeah, she has to let it go. She has to let it go with Harry because he's just done with her. But when you're in this kind of state, you will make a fool of yourself for a man, right? When you're in that state of the devil, you can't reason with somebody like that. You simply cannot reason with somebody like that. Like it's like it's like reasoning with someone who has a heroin addiction and you've got this pure high quality heroin sitting right in front of them and you say don't shoot it, don't, it's a terrible thing you're doing. Yeah, I know I got a problem, but they're going to still shoot up. That's kind of her relationship with him. Karma is the devil. She cannot quit this guy. It would kill her. Isn't that crazy? Well, at least it's not, she doesn't have free choice. She is powerless over her addiction, right? The devil is about addiction. So what they're saying here is that she is powerless. She has no capacity to leave this person. And so that's why she couldn't leave him alone. Okay, so Mary Everett has a question about Trump. She wants to know when he will be indicted. Well, aren't people saying that they're pretty sure he's going to be found guilty of that's the civil suit? Now it's coming out that they cut deals with 8 of the electors. I think there was a negotiation going on with Fani Willis and the feds because of the investigation they were doing out of Virginia and the grand jury out of Virginia. And that's kind of been hush hush. But I think it made her hold off on some of the indictments. She wants to wait and see if the feds are going to make any deal. Let's see about Trump. God, I would hate to be that. Can you imagine being that crazy about a man? That would be horrible. When will Trump be indicted? There's a lot of money being spent. He's in serious financial trouble. Scott, I don't understand. Why didn't he work with Mueller? Mueller was offering him such a sweet deal. He should have taken what was his issue? Mueller's wanted a complete, what did Mueller say? A signed, sealed confession in exchange for immunity. Then I think it got leaked that was the deal. He should have just taken the damn deal. God, what was he thinking? No, this investigation continues on into the former president. Look at this money, lost money. Look at that. I'm not getting a date on his indictment, but I can tell you that his finances are terrible. He doesn't have any money yet. It's because he can't afford to keep the places open. Nobody wants to be members of his clubs anymore because he's nuts. He's not a very good business person. It could be as early as this spring. It could even be before the summer. It'll likely be before July, Marie. I'll show you why. July, before July. You can see here a judgment goes against him, defends him. Also, it's the 7th month, July. And then here, patience, and then it falls under springtime. So first day of summer is June 21st. So I think he is likely to see an indictment or something happening prior to June 1st. Because by July, he's already defended himself. Strong evidence against him out of Georgia, and it looks like Georgia is going to be indicting him. Why do I say that? Because there's a magician card in his 8th house, which would be somebody who he has issue with, is in a position of power, and there's something about a southern issue. So I think it's Georgia. And then hopes and fears. He fears the truth coming out. The Page of Swords. I think he's finished by spring. It's interesting. What do you guys think? I'm going to predict before June 21st with those cards, just because the cards I use for dates made it look like it had fallen between those two dates. What was important to Van Gogh? K Travel Tarot. What was important to Van Gogh? I kind of got embarrassed as Van Gogh that I kind of was laughing. I was laughing and embarrassed that they were making such a big deal about the sunflower, which is not a very good painting from my perspective as Van Gogh. I felt it was amateurish. I feel my painting is amateurish. I don't feel I'm a professional painter. I think it's a joke. And the fact that they're spending that kind of money on a painting that wound up in my brother's loft with the hay, mice have chewed away at some of my paintings. It was, I was not a real painter. And he couldn't. When I asked his opinion about the tomato soup on it. He said it was an improvement from the original. He's a humble man. He painted because of what it did for him emotionally, but he never felt that he was on par with a real painter, with a real artist. And he was embarrassed that anybody would take his art seriously. And that was basically the feedback I got from him. Yeah, it was interesting to be. I was surprised. I don't think that was something that they got accurate. If you were to ask me my opinion, being Vincent Van Gogh, he's extremely funny. I felt like I had embodied a sense of humor as him. I made myself laugh. So I think that people underestimated just how funny he was. Very deprecating. That's what I felt. He's very self-deprecating and embarrassed by the attention he's getting. All right, the debt ceiling. Let's take a look. What's going on with the debt ceiling? Good question, Claudia. Thank you. It's fine. I'll tell you why it passes. It's not going to happen because the Republicans have seen the writing on the walls, and the Republicans are doing terribly, and the Constitution is stronger than ever. We're not going to have a problem with the debt ceiling. You can see here. First off, Biden is zero tolerance. He will talk to them, but I'll tell you, Biden's very strong. King of Swords, steely-eyed realist with there's the contract, Three of Pentacles. So in plainer words, if he's presenting as a King of Swords, it would lead me to think that Biden is not going to cut social programs like these parasites. It's not going to happen. And then they come with the Knight of Cups and the Four of Cups. So false gifts, stubborn, fighting over the issue, Five of Wands, but the final outcome, it works itself out. And also the outcome of a Hierophant, which I read the Hierophant as the Constitution, a new beginning of the Constitution, April, or spring card is the Four of Wands, and it's also a card of new beginnings. So I think the debt ceiling will pass. I think that the Republicans present as weak. I think if you go into the remotes from the past, more and more Republicans are peeling away from MAGA because MAGA is costing them elections. And I think they're moving towards a moderate position because if they don't move towards moderation, they're not going to have a party. And the same is true for Fox News. If Fox News survives at all, and it's questionable if it will, they're not going to be able to continue to promote sedition and everything else, or they're going to be drug off to prison. It's really, the feds are not playing. Fox has received an economic hit. I mean, how many people have read Confessions of an Economic Hitman? This is precisely what the CIA and the feds will do. If you threaten the U.S. federal government, they will financially rip you to shreds. So the problem with Fox is that they have really they went too far. They went way too far, and they thought they were invincible, and they got cocky, and unfortunately they ran afoul of the feds. And so MAGA is quickly on the decline. With this type of energy, I would be very surprised if they argued for much of anything. All right. Colin Alfred, Texas, is trying to beat Ted Cruz. Let's see how he does. Texas is another state that's changing because a lot of people are libertarian there and they don't want the feds. Historically, it was live and let live. Texas was not started as a fundamentalist Christian state. It was where outlaws, liberals, LGBTQ went so that they could be left alone. So there's always been an element of independence to Texas where they don't want the feds in their business. And so the Republicans are starting to piss off the people of Texas. So you could be seeing liberals and libertarians actually coming together to get rid of MAGA at this point. Let's take a look. How does Colin Alred do in Texas? He has the financial wherewithal to win against Ted Cruz because he's going to raise more money for his campaign than Ted Cruz. He will probably win. The feds are investigating Ted Cruz. It's likely that at this rate, Colin Alfred will win in Texas. You can see here, this is the card for Colin Alfred, and you can see here he is given a job offer, Page of Pentacles, to receive coin, a message of coin or a new job. The other who he's having issue with, I'm assuming, is Ted Cruz, and you can see the feds all over him, raid, and then the star witness. He's in trouble. He's under investigation for what he knew for January 6th. The hopes and fears, his campaign, the Chariot is a campaign. Tower, huge upset. And you can see here, Ace of Pentacles for Colin Alfred would indicate that he's in good shape financially. And the Sun card coming in as well. He has a lot of mobility going forward. And I think the feds are going to take the other guy out. So with those cards, I'm going to go ahead and predict, unless something changes, that Colin Alfred will win in Texas. Yeah. Okay, folks, did you have fun? Yeah? Did you have a fun brunch? Yeah, I hope so. All right, everybody, I am going to take off. I think my friend is coming to meet me. We're going to go do some tacos, I think. Ooh, they're making brunch down there. That looks yummy. Wow. We're having a brunch party downstairs. They're doing pancakes, but unfortunately, that's not where I'm going. Or fortunately, I'm doing tacos. You know what I really want to eat at the party? Those salads. You guys know the salads? I don't know if you guys know this salad. It's like they make it with butter, lettuce, and it has like a lime cilantro dressing. It's really good. I don't know. I had it once at a Mexican place. I want to get like that salad again with like the lime cilantro. Anybody else going to any Cinco de Mayo parties this weekend? Okay, so Kay is going to be here in 40 minutes. That gives me time to put on a pair of jeans. Loose jeans, Kay. So park your car here, and then we will take the light rail to the party. You guys know our schedule. You should join us. Anybody here in Portland, Oregon want to hang out with us? We're going to go down to the water and get tacos. Yeah, the lime cilantro dressing, I had it. It's with grated carrots and butter lettuce, and then they put some of that lime. It was and it was a little sweet. I was like wolfing it down. I had it actually. When did I have it? I had it the other day. It might have had a little tahini in it or something. I don't know. It was really, really good. So I just had it the other day and I'm going to go back and get another one. I can't remember what they called the salad. It was at the Mexican restaurant. I got it to go. It had butter lettuce and grated carrots and this lime tahini, like sweet dressing or something. I don't know. I can't describe the dressing, but it was just so good. Oh my God. And I think they put blackened tempeh chunks in it. It was vegan. I try to have mostly vegan meals. So good. Cilantro rice. Oh my God, that sounds so good. All right. Well, I'm going to take off. Have a good one, everyone. Thank you for your love and support. All right. We'll see you next time. I will enjoy. I'll try and take some pictures too for everyone. Bye, everyone.